Hey, if you're selling a product that everyone else is already selling, then listen up. Do you think you can really make a profit with that, honestly? No doubt you can. You can take one product that everybody else is already selling and build a 7-figure brand from it. For those of you that are new here, my name's Sasha Karabut, founder of Ecom Capital and advisor to hundreds of product-based brands. I've scaled multiple e-commerce businesses, including ones that I've built on a common product that most people didn't think could actually make a profit. But with the right angle, the offer, and the positioning, it really pulled off to the point where it actually generated net margins of over 25% and then outsold most other common brands. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make a profit with one product that everyone else is already selling just by following these simple, smart steps. Now, everyone thinks that the secret is to create something brand new, something the market has never seen before, a product that's never been done. But that mindset is the exact reason that so many new founders fail completely before they even begin. So the first step is to stop trying to reinvent the wheel, because when you're trying to build from zero, you're not starting a business, you're rolling the dice. You've got no data. You've got no experience, and you've got no proof that anybody wants what it is that you're building. No one wants to hear it, but originality doesn't make you rich. Validation does. People don't buy products because they are new or flashy. They buy them because they work. And if you see something that's selling like crazy, for example, that's your signal. Don't take it as like a red flag or the market's too saturated. That's your green light. Your job in the business isn't to be first, it's to really be better in order to actually win. Because when something's already selling, you've got everything you need to win. You've got reviews, you've got complaints, and most importantly, you've got patterns. So instead of wasting months trying to be innovative, start with what's already working and then dig deep into why it's not working for everybody. Because once you find that kind of crack in the armor, that flaw in the market, that the market keeps pointing out, that's where your profit lives. And that takes us to step 2. Here's what most people get wrong. They think that spotting a good product is about maybe intuition or something like that, but it's not at all. It's about the signal. You should not start with what you think is smart. You should start with what is already working, because the market is always talking, and if you listen close enough, it hands you the blueprint to success. If you want to know what to sell, don't guess. Just go into the market and look. Open Amazon bestsellers, scroll through TikTok made me buy posts, check trending searches on AliExpress, and when you see a product kind of climbing in those charts, it's proof. It's proof that what you're looking at is undeniable and that people are pulling money out of their wallets to buy it. That's validated demand. You don't need to look any further. And that traction is your unfair advantage because it comes with something far more valuable than sales, and that is data. You get to see what exactly people love, what they hate, and like I said earlier, where the cracks are. And that kind of clarity founders would have killed for 10 years ago. That's your playbook, laid out in public completely for free. Now, you're not building something from scratch anymore. You're stepping into a stream of what's already flowing towards you, and your only job is to redirect that into something slightly better. So let the market show you what's working and then go deeper. Because once you've gotten a proven product, the next step is to open it up and find the weakness. Now, most people stop at what's selling, but that's the biggest mistake that new founders make. The third step is not to make that mistake. Most founders copy what's popular without asking why it's popular, or more importantly, why customers are displeased by it. Because just because a product is earning revenue, it doesn't mean that it's a great product. It just means that there is demand. And when there's demand, there's also noise. What you'll find is there's thousands of buyers, hundreds of reviews, and constant feedback about that trending product. And buried inside all of that is the fact that most sellers ignore. And it's what people actually hate about the product. You need to spot that because that is exactly where the profit lives. You need to find that one thing that keeps coming up over and over again. It can be the 1-star reviews or rants on Reddit or maybe quiet complaints hiding inside of the FAQ pages. That is your edge. Let me share with you a personal example. When my wife launched her brand SashBeds, she didn't reinvent a new product. She studied a dog brand, right? One that was in the market doing around $1 to $2 million a month. And instead of trying to compete on price or branding or shipping or speed, she went in on the reviews, especially the 2 and 4 star reviews. There was one review that kept popping up over and over and over again, and it was that the bed flattened too fast. That was the weak spot. So when you find the pain that keeps repeating over again, you've found the wedge, and you need to split that open inside of the entire category. I believe the best product ideas, they don't come from brainstorming, right? Instead, they come from annoyed customers. And once you find that pain point, your next move is really quite simple. You've got to build your entire brand around fixing that one thing better than anybody else. Moving right along to the 4th step. And this is where most people get really generous. They patch 10 things, add 5 small bonuses, offer free shipping, free returns, maybe a free sticker, but none of it matters if it's not working in your favor. Because if your product doesn't fix the one thing your customer actually cares about, you're not different. You're just another seller. So build a USP, and I mean a real USP, not just some shiny marketing angle or a discount code. It has to be meaningful. Product level change. This means something on the product level that solves your core problem your competitor ignored. And that's the difference between blending into the market and then taking the market share. As an example, when my wife's brand launched, she didn't try and do everything better. She focused on the one thing, which was 3 times more padding, and guaranteed it never to flatten. That was it. The whole entire angle. Every ad, every photo, every comparison were built around that angle. Because a real USP, it doesn't add complexity. It's supposed to simplify the decision. And the customer should see it and go, that's exactly what I need. So a real USP changes the experience, not just the offer. And once you've built that unique advantage of sorts into the product itself, make it really obvious. Make sure that every part of your brand, from the ads to the landing page to the packaging, screams that message. And now once you've fixed the one thing no one else is fixing, really importantly, your next move is really quite simple. Highlight what sets you apart from the rest. This is where most founders drop the ball. They build something better, but then they market it the same as everybody else. And if your product is better, but your messaging doesn't show it, then it's not going to matter to the customer. So, for example, you've got to make the difference undeniable visually, logically, and emotionally. A great way to do this is side-by-side comparisons, us versus them, all over your ads, on your landing pages, everywhere, right? In the example I mentioned earlier, if that particular product has 3 times more padding, show it next to theirs. Show it on the landing page. Show it in the ads. Show it from every single angle so the customer can see the difference. If your product actually solves the one thing that they are complaining about, then don't just say it, okay? Eugene Schwartz says, show them, don't tell them. Make your advantage impossible to miss. Now, if you're entering into a really saturated market, right, and the one USP isn't enough to kind of tip the scales, so this is where you start stacking multiple USPs, but only with strategy. Lower the price, but only if your margins can handle it, right? Bundle products, but only if it amplifies the average order value and the profit. Faster shipping, better returns, more reviews, all of those things are kind of supplementary fuel, but it only works after you've nailed that foundational USP. It's not a level playing field anymore. You're giving the customer every reason to say yes. And that's when the market shifts in your favor, because now you're not just another seller, you are the obvious choice. Finally, and the last step is where most people either stall completely or they blow this whole plan altogether. They either spend 6 months overthinking, overplanning, or tweaking logos, or they go the other way and then dump $20,000 into inventory for a product they haven't even validated. Both paths are just different ways to lose. The smart move is to launch small, fast, and shut up until the market speaks. As an example here, I'm talking 50 to 100 units max, not 1,000. No massive minimum order quantities. At the start, you don't need a brand. What you need is feedback more than anything else. Put the product into the hands of the people and then watch what happens specifically. Do they reorder? Do they leave reviews, positive or negative? Do they share feedback in your inbox? What were they confused about? What were they disappointed over? This information is the gold you are looking for. You need a signal about whether it's landing or not. Because if it is landing, cool. But if it's not, you need to lean in quickly, pivot, and fix it, right? This step saves you months of wasted effort, but more importantly, it forces you to face the hard truth in your business. And the faster you face that truth, the faster you win. So you don't need to try and be perfect. You just need to get in the market, get real data, and then use it to scale. And if you're still out there trying to stand out, be different just for the sake of it, look, good luck. But if you're ready to build something real, then this is the game right here. This is how to win, especially in saturated markets. Not with hypes or hacks or gimmicks, but with sharp thinking, fast moves, and the products that people actually want. And so if that clicked for you, then stick around. I'm going to be sharing more insights in the up and coming videos about how to position your product, price your product, and pitch your product so well that you cannot be ignored, even in a crowded market. I'll see you soon.